Hey y'all, glad you came. I'm Monique. Welcome and welcome back. Today we're talking all things pharmacy. In particular, we're going to be talking about why it is important for you as a pharmacy technician to know the difference between a control medication and a non-control medication, okay? And I think this is a good subject because I often see when people actually start in the pharmacy, especially when they're not certified yet and they don't have any experience around medications and prescription medications, they actually do not know which medications are controlled and which ones are not. Now, here's the thing. Control medications are most likely for pain, nerve pain, and or some type of sleeping disorder, right? And they have different control numbers. There's like control 2, control 3, control 4, control 5. These control numbers, these categories really describe to you how highly addictive something is according to its control. A lot of other things that go along with that too, but that's just like an easy explanation, right? So something that is a control 2 substance is going to be something that is probably going to be more addictive than something that's like a control 4, right? Or maybe control 3. So you see how that goes. Now, I do have a pharmacy notebook where I share all the things that a technician needs to know, right? As far as like just starting and just having a general knowledge of medication and processes in the pharmacy, both retail and hospital. That is right here on the screen. You guys can always purchase that. It's also all around the screen here. You can click and purchase that at a very affordable price. I'm gonna be pulling from that today while talking to you guys and pulling some of the medications from there as well. Okay, so I wanna talk about why it's important that you know what a control medication is and how knowing these control medications actually helps the workflow go faster for you, okay? All right, so when you have control medications, it is very important that you understand which ones are. And the reason is because in the pharmacy technician world, you know, when you're dealing with narcotic medications, control medications, these are very highly regulated things, okay? You know, if you are counting something and it falls on the floor and it's a control medication, we're all looking for it, okay? Everybody, we gonna all stop and look for that medication because highly regulated for good reason, okay? Because these medications are very effective, very potent, and unfortunately can be addictive, right? And so they're like watched heavily, essentially, right? And so that being the case, as a technician, you need to understand what type of alertness you need to have when handling a medication that is controlled, right? So in the retail setting, most likely you are going to have control medications in your workflow because you are going to be a filler, right? Or in the production or filling, whatever you want to call it. If you are doing that, you know, if you're not at the register, you're not typing, doing data entry, but you're actually doing the filling of the medication, you need to really have a good handle on what is a control and what is not, right? Because half the time, controls are actually waiters. That's the first thing. Typically, people are waiting for these pain medications, okay? Also, if you don't know what a control is, you could stop the work for a little bit because you don't understand what to give over to the pharmacist first, right? So typically when you work in a retail setting, this is retail. But what happened when someone has a control medication is that after going through data entry, right, after being verified by the pharmacist, it's going to come out to you as the filler, right? When it gets to you as the filler, you have to pass it right back to the pharmacist because the pharmacist is going to go and get that medication for you to count. You cannot just walk into a control safe and pull out medication. You cannot do that, okay? Those are locked safes, locked, timed, whatever. And so that being the case, they have to do that for you. When they give you that medication back, then you count it. They count it. You count it. They count it. Basically, it's a double count and a double signature in most pharmacies, right? To my knowledge, okay? So you can see the regulation and the importance of making sure that the amount of these medications that you are giving out are absolutely 100% correct, okay? They are not off. They are not miscounted. So it's not okay for you to have 29 if you need 30 of a controlled medication. No, you need 30, all right? So that is something to keep in mind. Not that all the other medications are not important, but when it comes to controlled substances, it is very important that these amounts be counted correctly every time. There's no exception to the rule, okay? Very important. All right, so that's retail. When it comes to hospital pharmacy, same thing. These control medications are going to be in their own locations, right? You're going to have your own sign-in to access whatever you need to access. 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a technician that specializes in handling, these types of medications, right, in the hospital pharmacy. So when you are delivering these medications, I need you to pay attention, okay? So when you are delivering a controlled medication to a Pyxis machine and or whatever machine that you use in your hospital setting, a lot of times you'll have control medications and you'll have non-controls, and you'll be filling. You'll be going really fast, like you'll have your Pyxis going, and now you get to your controls, right? Slow down. When you're in a hospital, most likely you're going to have a piece of paper that is with you, okay? That is with the control medication. That piece of paper is going to tell you what the technician who worked on that control pulled out of the stock, right? How many? You always want to make sure that what they pulled is what you are feeling. Slow down. The reason I say slow down, if you go too fast in the Pyxis, if you make one mistake with a controlled medication, guys, and if you guys are technicians, you will back me up on this, it just causes a domino effect, okay? Because now you got to go get somebody to witness you, to recount it, to take it out. Maybe you got to take it back down to the pharmacist. It builds mistrust. It's just a mess, okay? So just make sure you slow down when you get to your controls. Open up your paper, look at your medication, check it, make sure that the medication is the same thing that is in your hand that's on the paper, okay? Check the amounts. If it says 10, make sure you have 10, okay? Make sure nothing is rubber band together or whatever the case may be. Whoever is doing that for you prior to, usually with controls, they're very specific as well in how they, put those things together for you. But I just say that out of experience. I've been doing this for a long time. I just know how it feels to get one thing wrong, to type in one number wrong, and that, what could have been something done in literally 2 minutes becomes a whole 20-minute ordeal, stops you up from your workflow. Maybe you end up getting off late because you have to have the pharmacist come up and, witness you and sign for you. They got to go back and see what the nurse pulled. It's just, like I said, it's just a lot. Okay, so those are the top reasons why making sure that you understand what is a control is important. Okay, so I am not going to say the medications because this is a pharmacy video. So I am going to put a list of them here so you guys can see. I'm going to put the top 5 on the screen for you guys to see, okay? You can find more in the pharmacy notebook, okay? There will always be more. In the world of pharmacy, medications are constantly being made and tested, produced, sold, okay? And so, you're gonna have a new control medication on the market in the next year, right? And so sometimes you're not gonna know all of them, but you should know a great majority of them. If you get one where you are in retail and you simply cannot find this medication on the counter nowhere, it's not in the robot, it's not on the counter, it's not on the shelf, it's most likely a control medication. And if you want to just, be really smart and look it up, you usually can. But don't ever be afraid to ask. When you first start, please ask, because I know it may be annoying for you to ask. You may feel like, you may not feel very smart because you don't know. Don't worry about all that. It's better for you to ask. And the reason is because you don't want to ask. And so when you do get told that it is a control, you won't forget, right? Because you really didn't want to ask in the first place. So make sure that you ask, okay? All right, so that is all I have for this video. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or even just a comment about what I'm talking about, please leave that below. Also, I'd like to thank you guys. I am a nursing student, as you know if you watch this channel, and it is a lot being a nursing student. Unfortunately, I could not, make videos in May or June. I was just really coming out of school and just trying to refocus, take care of my health, all the things, right? And so, yeah, your student nurses do not have it easy. When it comes to being a content creator, we want to create content so bad, but YouTube is a very labor-intensive platform, and so I haven't even touched this camera in like literally 4 months, if not more, right? It almost didn't even turn on, y'all. So yeah, but thank you guys for continuing to watch, continuing to support, continuing to find my stuff, like my stuff, buy my products, buy my PDFs. I really appreciate you guys. So keep on sharing, keep on learning, keep on purchasing, and I will return with a different video in time. And I hope you guys have a peaceful and productive rest of your day, and I will talk to you on the next upload.